Hello everybody, welcome back to Steph Talks. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful evening, finishing up your last few weeks of school. And if you already finished yet another year, congratulations. Yes, like you read from the title, I did win a car. I won a 2018 Ford Mustang, and I'll be telling you guys the story of how everything happened. So basically, I applied for this scholarship program, and it's called the San Diego Ford to Salute to Education Scholarship. I know it's a really long name. And so it's basically for only San Diego high school seniors. And so they choose the Ford company and, you know, their board members. They select only 160 students in the whole San Diego County. So I was one of them, and I was the only one from my school who was awarded. And I went to Sweetwater High School. It's down South Bay in National City. And basically what had happened was we had this ceremony, and I remember like it was yesterday. It was May 5th, and when we arrived there, I had gone with my boyfriend and my teacher, Miss Tejas. And when we had arrived, you know, there was like all these cars like parked outside the ceremony, and I remember we were just walking, look at them like, oh, okay, you know, they're nice, whatever. But we were really like trying to get into the car, you know, really looking at it like all the other students were, because I mean, you know, I would have never expected I would have won a car. I mean, I never even went freaking raffles. I would have never occurred to me that I was gonna win a car. So basically, you know, we were just walking, just acknowledged the cars. We went inside, and I remember we were eating, and because they had these like little bite-sized food, I don't know, they had some food there, and I was at the table, and my teacher and I, we were just like clowning and joking around, like, forget the scholarship, you know, we want the car. But like, we were just joking, and it was so funny to me because like when we sat down, you know, each one of the students that was awarded the scholarship, we all got a ticket, and it was like a number on it and a letter A through F. I had gotten letter C and seat 13. So basically I was on the third row, seat 13 on the edge, and then it was like the other seats. And so they had started the ceremony, and they, you know, they handed all the awards and stuff, and when you went up there to get your award, you dropped the ticket in this little like spinning thingy, like the ones that they use for bingo. And you know, I sat down and waited for everybody to get awarded and or get their awards. And so you know, they had started, and now we will start the drawing, you know. So it was like all like hyped up, and everybody was like, oh my gosh, you know, like we're gonna get to win a car. And you know, it was an exciting moment, and I was excited too. But you know, I remember I was just praying to God, and I was like, gosh, if I win this car, like I'll, like, I'm just like humbly thinking, like really being really humble about it, and just like, you know, thank you. But if I don't, you know, if somebody else needs it more than I do, then, you know, God bless them. But I was sitting down, I was just thinking all that to my head, and then they start the drawing and like calling out like people to sit down. So they were like, if you're sitting through rows A through D, remain standing. And so like everybody was like in the back like, ah, and they all sat down. And they're like, if you're an odd number seat, remain standing. And so I was still standing, and you know, everybody else sits down. My teacher's looking at me like, what? Like, what's going on? You know, like I'm standing. I'm still standing. Is that a song? It said, if you're a male, sit down. And so all the males sat down, and it was just like about 18 girls standing, and I was one of them. And we're all looking at each other, and then they said like rows 1 through 13 remain standing. And so everybody on the left, all the girls on the left hand side sat down. And so it was just like us girls on this side, and it was like 8 of us. And at this point I'm like freaking out. I'm like, dude, I'm still standing. I'm freaking out, and I'm just like, my heart's beating. I'm just like, oh my goodness, like what the heck. I was like so confused. I was like, why am I still standing? I should have said that a long time ago. But next thing you know, they're like, okay, we're gonna bring it down, you know. And so they say, if your school starts with the letter S, remain standing. So my school was Sweetwater High School, and so now it was just myself and this other girl in the front. Her school was like Sierra something high school, and at this point, like, everybody's going crazy. People are like screaming, standing up. They're like, oh my gosh, my teacher's already off her chair, like just staring at me, like going like, I could see her like this, and I'm like freaking out. And I was just like, dude, this is crazy. Like, and her and I are looking at each other. I feel like it was just one of those moments where you're like in a combat, and, you know, they see the eyes, they're just like, and we're just staring at each other, and I'm just like, I'm freaking out. And then they announced, and I'll roll the clip for you guys, I'll put it in the video, and they say, and the winner, and they're being really slow about it and like really building up, like trying to hype it up, and I'm freaking out, like I'm about to have a heart attack. They announced
to Stephanie.
What the heck? Oh my God!
Everybody give Stephanie a big hand.
Damn!
Give her a hand. Get up on your feet. She's getting a car from the San Diego County Ford Dealers Association. Did her mother just run up here? Is that mom? Teacher? Teacher. Oh my goodness. Stephanie, come on up here. Okay? All right. Give her a big hand. Come on now.
Damn.
Now, Stephanie, I don't know if did you look at any of the cards when you walked in? She can't talk. You didn't look at it.
the next day I had gone to go get my car, you know, sign it off and just put it under my name. And I remember I was just sitting there, and I test drove it, and I was just like, is this really happening? Is this real? I was like, this can't be. And honestly, God blessed me so much, guys. He really loves me. He really loves me, and he has taken care of me throughout so much. And you know, that's all glory and honor to him. I'm so thankful for that experience. So that's not only it, guys. Okay, so basically this whole ripple effect happened after I won my car. That I would have never, like, it never crossed my mind that I would go through all this when I was signing those papers. So basically, for some of you that may not know, I am a foster youth. So they have this law for foster youth that you can't have assets over 10 grand. So what that means is that you can't have like money worth, like 10 grand in money, like in your bank account or cash or whatever, or anything of that value. So I didn't find out about this until, you know, I had told my social worker, you know, I was all excited. I want a car, you know, I want a Mustang, and I was all excited. And she's like, oh, we're gonna have to close your case immediately. And I'm like, what? And at this moment and during this time, I was living in my own apartment, my second semester of senior year, and I had barely been there for like 3 months. So when she said that, I was like heartbroken, and I was like so scared. I was like, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna be homeless? I don't know where I'm gonna go. And so basically we had this whole like court case. You know, I had to move out from my apartment within 3 days, which is completely ridiculous to me. I think that this law is pretty unfair in regards to, you know, what we can and can't have, especially, you know, in regards to a car. Like, are you kidding me? For foster youth to have to decide between receiving aid and keeping a car, it makes no sense to me. It's like the car loses its value over time, and it's like you're not gaining anything from it. In fact, you're like losing because you need to keep up with its maintenance, pay for insurance, gas, you know, all this stuff. And it's like, and you know, when we exceed those limitations and you know, we go against all these odds, it's like we're dragged back down, and it's like we want to be kept in this little bubble of poverty and just The whole negative connotation of being a foster youth, and I don't like that at all. I think that those laws need to be updated and discussed, and these things should be discussed. I think a lot of us are I saw this TED talk about, you know, being fearful to speak up, and it's not until somebody speaks up that, and they use this analogy as like a domino effect. When somebody speaks up, it like trails behind everybody else, and it makes an impact. So I really think that, you know, if you're a foster youth and you're going through this similar situation, we need to speak up. I think it's totally unfair that, you know, like I said, you have to choose between that, and that shouldn't even be a choice. At least in regards to having a car. So basically, this kind of went viral, kind of, just within my San Diego community, and it came out on the news that the headline was like, when foster youth wins car loses home. And so that's exactly what happened. You know, I had to spend prom weekend, I was packing my apartment. You know, I had to move out within 3 days, and what the heck was I supposed to do? Live in my car, like park outside the county, or, you know, try and get some attention, bring awareness to my situation? Like I don't know what I was supposed to do. And you know, just thanks to my whole community and my support system, people that helped me bring awareness to the situation, my case went all the way up to state. And when that happened, it was like a 5-month duration that I was fighting to gain, you know, my foster youth benefits back. And luckily, you know, thanks to God, I won the case, and, you know, I've been in this apartment ever since. And so I'm very thankful for that. I think God made me go through all that and had a great plan. And I just hope that, you know, as a foster youth and just anyone else going through it, we really need to do something about that. We need to speak up, guys. Something needs to be done. Laws need to be changed. We need to be heard. Yeah, that's basically what happened. So yes, like I said, I hope you guys like this video. This is kind of my story of what happened, and I've been blessed, and I'm very thankful and humbled to have been able to have gone through that experience. I hope we can all, you know, join together as one and speak about some of these current issues. If you guys like this video or would like for me to discuss more things about, you know, maybe things that the truth about foster care, or things that we go through, comment down below, like this video. Thank you so much for tuning in to another one of my videos. I look forward to walking this journey with all of you, and, you know, sharing our experiences and learning from one another. Thank you so much, and have a beautiful day. Bye.